promote and I travel, and the more I travel outside of the US, the more I realize that United States is a scam. Like, I'm in Serbia right now, you guys, and it looks like LA, like it's LA vibes.
Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll explore a growing sentiment among Americans who believe the American dream is no longer attainable. Now we hear firsthand from individuals who have chosen to leave the United States in search of a better life abroad. We take a look into the challenges faced by those who feel disillusioned by the promises of a successful life through traditional means, education, a stable job, and home ownership. From exorbitant housing costs to increasing safety concerns, we discover why many are questioning if the American dream is still a reality and how moving overseas has become their new path to fulfillment. But before we get into the videos, make sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up by tapping on the like button, and feel free to share your thoughts, your experiences as well in the comment section down below. With that said, let's take a look at these videos. I will be right back.
I want to respond to this comment. The new American dream is to leave. I 1000% agree with this because I moved from California to Dubai. Best decision I've made because the American dream that we were taught as kids does not exist anymore. So for example, we were told to go to school, get a degree, buy a house. How are we going to do that today? I'm from San Francisco and the average house in San Francisco right now is $1.2 million. Who the F can afford a $1.2 million house? And again, this is not even a beautiful house. There's gonna be homeless people probably right in front of your house. People are gonna be breaking into your car. It's so dirty, it's so disgusting. It's not safe. Like, who wants to live like that? I'm sorry, I have to leave, and I'm glad I did. And to all of my Americans, do you still believe in the American dream? Comment below.
When you finally leave America, you start to realize that the US is literally just a numbers game and a business. If you're not making money or putting up numbers, nobody gives a crap about you. When you go to a bar or meet someone in the US, the first question they ask you is, oh, what do you do for work? Well, believe it or not, in a lot of the world, they won't ask that even after you meet them like a few times. Like, that's not the only important thing in the rest of the world. But in the US, if you're not making money, you're invisible. In Brazil, people actually love you for who you are and not just what you do and what you make. In the US, even your mom is going to look at you funny for not making six figures. The way I look at it now is I just use America as my ATM and I get the hell out.
I can't do this anymore. I'm moving out of America in the next 3 weeks by any, and I mean any, means necessary. I'm genuinely going crazy having to live in a toxic American capitalist society, but they say if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So although I have less than 2 months left on my lease and I'm trying to find a subleaser and the odds are stacked against me, I'm gonna pack up and get ready to go. So I went out and got a storage unit and started setting my stuff up because I'm not gonna sit around and wait for somebody else's confirmation. I also sold my car yesterday. I'll never forget you, girl. I'm convinced that by physically removing my stuff from this space, that it will no longer be mine. Like, I'm so close to being free. I literally feel it. I see it on the other side. She's over there living her best life. Look at her. So although I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna do it or where I'm going, I can guarantee you I will be out of this apartment in the next 10 days and in a new country by the first week of January 2024. I'm going to continue to document my journey and experience because I don't think people really realize how accessible it is to change your entire reality.
Many people want to move from the United States. I've been getting direct messages every single day. I moved from the United States a couple of months ago with my entire family to Eastern Europe, Northern Europe. And here's the 5 top reasons why we left the United States. Number 1, access to good food, healthy, organic food at half the price. In the United States, there's many foods that you have that are actually banned in Europe. Second, healthcare. It's 3 times cheaper to get healthcare here. You can get a full panel of blood work for 100 euros. A professional private clinic is 50 euros per visit, a private one. And you can actually get one for probably for 10 or even free if you get in line. Third, childcare. It's absolutely unreasonable for mothers to bear children, give birth to children, and then get taxed at 50% of their income to pay for daycare. Daycare should be free, hence it's literally almost free in Europe. You get almost a year maternity leave. In the United States, you get 0 maternity leave. So the entire industry of childcare is like a business in the United States rather than a human right. Socially, people are way less divided than they are in the United States. In the United States, the moment you're red or blue, you just gotta read the room, which room you walk in, otherwise you get attacked and all the other things. Last but not least, the politics. The politics in the United States shows us that trajectory for the next 10 years is not up. It's actually a slow degrade for the last 10 years, and it's not hard to do the math and look, the next 10 years is going to be even lower.
When I go to Italy and I'm like, oh my God, I could eat pizza and gelato every single day and I lose weight and feel great.
This is yet another reason why I left the US indefinitely to live in Bali. Because the US is putting us through our food and they don't give a. Every single time I travel to a new destination and eat the exact same foods that I would eat in the US, I lose weight. And before you guys say, well, Andrea, it's because you're hiking volcanoes and you're surfing and you're being really active. No, I do the same thing in the US. I'm very active. I go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, but yet I still seem to struggle with my weight, with getting my PCOS, lupus, and hypothyroidism under control. I can eat bread anywhere around the world and not be inflamed because of the gluten. Whereas when I eat the exact same thing in the US, my face is all puffy and I start to gain weight. I'll give you an example. Red 40 is banned all throughout Europe. However, they put it in our cereals, our makeup, anything that is red, our fruit punch. According to the FDA in America, Red 40 is safe for public consumption. However, in Europe, it is banned because it leads to stomach problems, attention problems, ADD, a multitude of other health issues. But I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Every time you guys travel outside of the US, do you end up losing weight?
Here are 3 reasons why I don't live in the United States and why the rest of the world thinks Americans are loco. And if you saw my part 1 video for why I don't live in the United States and it pissed you off, well then you're really gonna love this one. But as all of you patriots told me in the comments section, if you don't like it, you can get out. I'm about to get really unhinged in this video, strap in. But the first reason I don't live in the United States is theocracy, an obsession with religion. And this is not the main reason I don't live in the United States, but stick around until the end and I will get to that. Religious fundamentalists have taken over the government. They run the country. If you don't know that, you're not paying attention. I'm sorry. But they have obliterated a woman's right to choose what happens to her body. They have demonized the LGBTQ community, and they are obsessed with the banning of adult content because, well, let's face it, sexual oppression is a primary mechanism of control. And it's also hypocritical because every single day you can find a new news story about a religious authority or a religious politician abusing children. Almost all other developed nations are far less religious and far more scientific and look down on the United States' obsession with religion in shock and horror. We've already tried theocracy in our history. The Crusades, the Inquisition, witch burnings. Who wants to go back to that? We're supposed to have a separation of church and states. It is in the founding documents for a reason, but that has never been the case. The second reason the US is loco is because of our divided population, whether it is between 2 opposing political parties, or what sports team you root for, or which generation you're from. The United States loves to divide people into 2 opposing categories and make them fight each other. Just a little newsflash for Americans who don't recognize the fact that we are one of the only developed countries with a 2-party political system. Most other countries have multitude of options to choose from, but we are stuck with 2 options, the lesser of 2 evils, and that is not a choice. And the third reason I don't live in the United States, and the most important to me, is the serious inequality there. It is out of control and it's disgusting. We are the richest country on earth apparently, yet we have the highest population of homeless people. Simultaneously have the highest population of billionaires in the world. That shit doesn't add up. Oh, you don't like homeless people? Well, a shocking percentage of homeless people are veterans who protected and served our country. But as soon as we're done using up their bodies, we throw them away and don't care about what happens to them. America has a seriously unreconciled issue with racism, starting with the tragic history of what happened with the Native Americans, and then to the African Americans who we thought was okay to own as slaves, and then pretty much every other immigrant group since the founding of the country. It's a tragedy. I know a variety of these issues exist around the world, but it's worse in the United States, and it doesn't have to be this way.
Here is another reason why I don't want to live in North America anymore, because all of your money is gone towards your living expenses, okay? It's gone towards paying taxes, number one. So the more money you make, the more taxes you pay. And then two, it's gone towards your shelter, okay? Which is your mortgage and your homes. And I think that is a bullshit way to live. It creates absolutely no freedom in life. And if anything, you are more in golden handcuffs than ever, because on paper, you think you're making a lot of money. On paper, you have a great job. On paper, you own a home, but you're actually stripped away from resources and values and morals and ethics of freedom, okay? Because you don't have any choice in what you can do with that money, because all of it, almost 50% to 70% of people's income is going towards paying their mortgages and their shelter. And that's when you're making 10 grand a month. Most people don't even make 10 grand a month. Think about those people that don't. That's why I think North America is a bullshit place to stay, because you are literally a slave. You work, and you have no time. What do you think we're doing? We're working, and we have no time. We have no time for our kids. We have no time for freedom. We have no time to travel. We have no time to spend time with our families. And I have gotten comments, make time. Yeah, when you are struggling and you are in survival mode to pay off your mortgage, to pay off monthly bills, to pay off utilities, and then to pay the government, and then to put food on the table, how the hell are you going to have time for all of these things? Because you're in survival mode. So what did it change? Our parents came here to give us a better life. And if the life that we have, because we have better jobs on paper and we own a home, but we're doing the exact same thing, is that a better life? Do you want to stay like this for the rest of your life and then one day wake up at 50 and be like, what the hell did I do with my life? So yes, I will say this loud and clear. North America is not the most ideal place to live. But you know what you need to do? You have to use North America to get what you want. And that I am tired of the bullshit system they have in place where they take my money from me, right? And they take less money from me because I'm self-employed. And I would encourage you to do that too, okay? If you're self-employed, you get to dictate how much you're going to pay in taxes. There's ways around it. That's why people like Robert Kiyosaki, that's why billionaires and millionaires have a system in place. They pay less in taxes, but they own a lot of assets. We have to question where trading your time for money does not work anymore. It does in other countries where you trade your time for money and you can actually live a good life. But in North America, you trade your time for money, you go to work, you work 9 to 5, you come back home, you get back, you take the train, you come back home at 7 p.m., you get your kids in bed, you shower them, they go to sleep, you're too tired to do anything else, so you go to bed, then you wake up the next morning and then you do the same shit again. If you think that's time, that's not time. You are trading your time for money. We all need to stop doing that. We have to find ways and how we can stop doing that. That's to start your own business. That's to look at passive income. That's to invest in real estate. That's to invest in stocks. Is to invest our income, because if we continue living on our incomes the way that we have zero left at the end of the day to do anything else.
Here are 3 reasons why it's time for you to leave the United States and live abroad. I have been living abroad in Medellin, Colombia now since April. It honestly is the best decision that I ever made. So number 1, the cost of living here is like a third of what it costs to live in the United States. Specifically, I was living in Atlanta and paying damn near $1,800 just for my rent. Not including light bill, internet bill, and all the other small little fees, trash, water. Like, come on, for a 1 bedroom. In Medellin, Colombia, you can find something comparable for a third of the price. Now, if you you can decide if you want to live bougie in Colombia or if you want to kind of live, a little bit more modest. I'm kind of like in the middle of where I want to live. Like, my rent is way cheaper than what I had in Atlanta. But my apartment here is a lot more luxurious, I guess you could say, as in Colombian standards. My rent here is a little under $1,300 for a 2-bedroom, and that includes everything, all of the amenities, the light bill, water bill, internet, everything is included in that. When I was paying almost $2,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment in Atlanta. Now you can find something a lot cheaper here. Like, I got some friends who pay less than $1,000. Some even pay $500. You can even rent a room, but I'd rather live by myself. Also here, the food is a lot fresher here. Now let me tell you right now, Colombia is not the place to be a foodie. for some reason, I'm just not really digging the Colombian food. I love Colombian food, but like, it's just not a place you come to really check out the food. However, the food here is so fresh, and they have so many like local little like flea market type situations where you can go and get hella fruits and vegetables for like so cheap. Like once a week or every other week, I'll go to the little shop, the little markets here, and get like fruits and vegetables, and I'm paying less than $20 for like 2 weeks worth of vegetables, y'all. Like not even $20 sometimes. Like it's crazy how affordable of like Uber Eats and DoorDash, and it's called Rappi. Rappi can do a whole bunch of other stuff, but specifically if you want to order food or groceries, it is so clutch. Like I barely go to the grocery store because like I can order my groceries. My whole groceries would be like $20, $30 American, and then you can get it delivered for like $1. Like their delivery fee is equivalent to like $1, maybe $2 American. So it's like, why would you even go to the grocery store? Also, you know, groceries, food, and anything you can think of, you can get it delivered. I had got like workout equipment delivered. One of my friends had got like a toy delivered one time, and they have this other service called Turbo where you can get it in 10 minutes. Like it's like I think of like a Walgreens or a CVS, and you can get something from there and literally be at your door in 10 minutes. They also have an ATM version where you can, like, if you don't feel like going to the ATM, they will bring you cash to your house, and it's totally safe. Okay, it's safe. I promise. I do it all the time. And the transaction fees is almost, it's pretty much the same as going to the ATM. But if you don't want to go to the ATM, you can just order and it'll come to your house. Like I literally do Rappi at least 3 times a day. I'm ordering either some groceries, some food, or if you forget an ingredient while you're cooking, you can just order it and it's there in 10 minutes. Clutch. Anyways, I'm going on and on and on, but so many reasons as to why you should move here, but that's just the top 3 I'm thinking about right now. But yeah, guys, best decision ever. If you got any questions, just drop.
Now, the sentiment that the American dream is no longer attainable reflects significant and growing concerns about economic and social conditions in the U.S. Many argue that the traditional formula, education, stable employment, and home ownership is increasingly out of reach for a large segment of the population. Rising housing costs, particularly in urban centers like San Francisco, have outpaced wage growth, making home ownership seem like an unrealistic goal for many. Now, issues such as income inequality, high student debt, and a perceived decline in public safety contribute to a sense of disillusionment. The experiences shared by those who have moved abroad highlight these concerns. For some, relocating to places with lower costs of living, better quality of life, or more stable economies appears to be a practical response to the frustrations with the American system. Now, this migration trend suggests a broader shift in how people perceive and pursue their own visions of success and scrutiny. While the idea of the American dream is deeply ingrained in national identity, the evolving economic landscape challenges its feasibility for many. The contrast between the dream as it was once envisioned and the current realities faced by many Americans underscores the need for resentment of both policies and personal expectations. Now, just as one speaker in the video aptly highlighted a critical issue, as you earn more money in the US, a significant portion of it goes towards taxes and rising expenses, making it increasingly difficult to manage financially. Now, this observation underscores a pressing reality for many Americans. Despite working harder and earning higher incomes, the cost of living continues to outpace wage growth. High taxes and escalating expenses from housing to healthcare absorb much of what might otherwise be savings or discretionary income. Now, this dynamic creates a paradox where higher earnings do not necessarily equate to greater financial security or improved quality of life. Instead, the burden of taxes and living costs can erode the benefits of increased income, leaving many feeling trapped in a cycle where the pursuit of financial stability becomes a relentless struggle. Now, as a result, some individuals are re-evaluating other options and looking beyond US borders for more sustainable and fulfilling ways to achieve their personal and financial goals. Now, the observation about rising expenses and taxes is a crucial aspect of the financial strain faced by many Americans. The US tax system, while progressive, often results in higher income earners facing significant tax burdens. Now, this coupled with the high cost of living creates a challenging financial landscape. For instance, as incomes rise, individuals may find themselves in higher tax brackets where a substantial portion of their earnings is allocated to taxes rather than the savings or investment. Now, the cost of essential services such as healthcare, education, and housing continue to climb. For many, these expenses consume a large share of their income, leaving little room for discretionary spending or savings. Now, this financial pressure can contribute to a sense of economic insecurity and reduce the overall quality of life. The combination of high taxes and soaring living costs not only impacts personal finances, but also affects broader economic mobility. It creates barriers to saving for the future, investing in opportunities, and achieving long-term financial goals. As such, it highlights the need for policy reforms that address these economic pressures and consider the financial realities faced by a significant portion of the population. Remember going to school with teachers instilling in you the benefits of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, telling you to pay attention in class, to go to college, to follow your passion, and the United States would provide, because the US was the land of opportunity. Now, they'll tell you this right after pledging allegiance to the flag and right before not teaching you about wars the US started with countries over pineapples, or how its dollar diplomacy more or less bankrupted an entire hemisphere. As long as you put on your work boots, top shoes, tennis sneakers, or whatever footwear your job required, you'd end up with a nice house, nice family, and a life worthy of being dubbed a dream. It was all a lie. Now, people didn't know it at the time. Why would schools lie to people? Why would parents and previous generations lie to people? Maybe it didn't start as a lie, but now for entire new generations, the American dream no longer exists. Now, for some, the American dream lies overseas. As recent polling suggests a dwindling sense of confidence in the American dream, some US citizens are flocking to foreign countries in search of more affordability and flexibility than they experience in the US. Now, recent surveys have uncovered concerns about the American dream declining or even already being extinguished. Only 36% of respondents said the American dream, defined in this case that if you work hard, you get ahead, still held true by a WSJ poll from October. That's a steep drop from previous polling. Meanwhile, younger Americans are struggling to get on the housing ladder, and Americans of all ages are increasingly pessimistic about the opportunities will be available to the next generation, as one recent NBC poll found. Now, opportunities presented by remote work and expat lifestyles reflected in social media posts have led some Americans to consider life overseas. Since 2020, there has been a rise of the digital nomad visa by the Europe-based law firm. Dozens of countries now offer a visa pathway enabling remote workers to legally reside in the host country for a year plus under certain conditions, according to Lexity. Now, across social media sites, including TikTok, some Americans are documenting their new lives outside of the US, while expressing shifting attitudes about the American dream. Now, as we come to the end of the video, do you also feel like the new American dream is just to leave? Share your thoughts, your views, your experiences as well in the comment section, and your reasons why you feel this way. Thank you for always watching, and see you in my next video as I bring you another interesting video.